What's up, guys? Man, 4 days in a row. Let me tell you about this video today. Maybe a little over a month ago, I did an interview with this great guy named Gav in England. Well, he's actually English and lives in Scotland, or vice versa. But it was like an international interview talking about my life. My life is very, very intense. I have a crazy life story. And we were having some technical issues in this video, so it was broken down in 2 parts, actually 3, but the 3rd part will be starting tomorrow. There were some technical issues, and I kind of like put some bleeps and blaps in there and some like glitches and stuff, just to kind of like put it together. But there was also like an audio issue. There was like this clinking, like, and there was some serious audio issues, so that's what was going on in that, just so you know. And there's a lot of things I learned on my journey to healing and through pain and trauma. I've been through a lot of trauma. So I gotta warn you, 1, this video is very long. I have it in 2 parts. Part 2 will be tomorrow. And it's very, very raw. I don't hold back. I always figure that part of life, your life experiences are there for you to help others. Like I say in a video, we're here to help each other. We're here to love each other. We were made for relationships. So I want you to sit back. I mean, this is a long video and I hope you are intrigued by it. I hope it pulls you in because I have really been through a crazy life and I don't hold back. I pretty much tell everything and it's very raw and heavy. And you might feel really heavy after this video. I mean, even the ending, the music that I put to it was kind of there to help you ease back into your everyday life. I hope you guys enjoy it. Have a great day.
Hello and welcome to Mindset Talk Live. Tonight for the 15th time, I'm back. And yeah, so great. We have Morefield on the show tonight, and this guy has a story to tell. He has a crazy life, as he says in his YouTube channel and his trailer. And he should be joining me very, very soon because I've tagged him and done everything I possibly can in order for this to work out. Okay, so Gav's with me anyway. Gav, you're here, mate. You're here. Okay, so Maven should be here pretty soon. Maven, let's just go through the process. Okay, I think I've done everything I can for my phone. Maybe I need a new phone. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe someone could send me a new phone. Is that right? Joke. Don't, please don't. Right, okay, so Mark's watching. Let's do this. Okay, right, okay, Maven's on. Let's have a look. Okay, so both of us have refreshed our phones. Let's imagine none of that happened. That's a good thing. We can actually delete the old ones, which I did anyway. It's pointless having them on. This comes on because literally, I think my phone was scanning or something like that in the background. So let's see what happens. Whoa, yes. I feel like I've scored a goal for like England. Or Scotland.
Man, I know I would feel. Let me get this like hunkered in here right quick.
Yeah, no worries, man. Tell you what, honestly, mate, we can look at your chest all night. I don't care. We're live. Fantastic. Hey, man, how you doing? Touch me, baby. Touch me.
Man, I couldn't be better.
No, fantastic. Anyway, Maven, man, thanks for coming on, dude, and thanks for your patience as well, mate, of having to go backwards and forwards. It worked perfectly in the group, and then. Hey, man, honestly, it's a pleasure. And thanks as well to Mark Hutton, who actually connected us both together, all right? So thanks for that, Mark. He's actually watching right now. My man, Crazy Hut.
Thank you, Mark.
Okay, right. So, yeah. So, guys, right, now we're actually live. Could you please share this, like, wherever you can, yeah? Just share this right out to your timelines or to groups, whatever you can, all right? Let's get this out there, yeah, because we're having a good chat. We're going to go through basically your life, really, starting from wherever you want to start from, growing up, all the way to the choices you made from then, all the way to moving to the Philippines and starting your life out there with your music and films and all these other crazy things you're doing. I've been watching your YouTube channels. It's fantastic, some of the stuff you're doing, man. So first of all, introduce yourself, please, Maven. Would you introduce yourself to the Morefield? What would you like me to call you? Because I just call you what?
Whatever, man. Just don't call me dickhead. I'm okay.
Yeah, I'll refrain from that, man. That's okay. That's cool. There's no reason
I'm just joking. You call me whatever you want. I go by Morefield. Yeah, cool. It's like my brand. I built a brand called Morefield years ago. And Maven is, you know, it exists.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
Still a cool name, but Morefield is like my family name, and it just like people started calling me Morefield when I was performing live shows when I was a musician. And it just stuck. Like I was like, that's, you know, I'm gonna own it and just like, you know, become actually, years ago, I went online to buy Morefield.com, you know, and I was like, I think I was a broke bastard at that point in my life, and I was like, oh, I'll wait till next month, I'll have more money.
Hmm.
And wouldn't you know it, like the next month, some jackass bought Morefield.com,
No,
and
man.
uh, and it's some engineering company. I offered the guy at one point like $5,000 to buy his domain. I'm like, you fucking bastard, dude! You stole my fucking name. So then I'm like, fuck that guy. I'm
Yeah.
gonna be the Morefield because the trumps everything, like the Donald. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I
yeah,
became the Morefield, and it just kind of stuck. So all my handles on everything, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram,
yeah.
is the Morefield.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah, yeah. I noticed that
themorefield.com
on
will tell you
YouTube. Yeah.
everything about me.
Yeah, nice one. Okay, well, definitely
So
check his channel out, the Morefield. Yeah, if you get well, I'll put a link up to my on the post at the end of the show, right? But yeah, I say so. Basically, can you just introduce yourself, what you're doing right now to everybody while I quickly share this out to the world? Can you just do that? Because my eyes are going to be off the
yeah, I'm a
screen for a little bit.
vlogger. I
Go
moved
for it.
here 3 years ago to just like make vlogs. I had no idea what I was doing. And I was kind of lazy. I didn't know what I was doing. I wasn't comfortable. So I was making some documentaries kind of like on cockfighting because I know that's very controversial. It's very offensive to some people around the
Hmm.
world. But here
Yeah,
it's like a national sport,
yeah, 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 yeah.
legitimately a national
Okay.
sport. So, excuse me a sec. So, and then out of nowhere, I never planned to do this. I was like filming celebrity DJs, like as a film producer, like in front of 50,000 people. I filmed Kanye West, Wiz Khalifa, Galantis, Firefly, all these huge names. And then
Wow.
the celebrities here, like from Manila. Manila is like Los Angeles of the Philippines.
Hmm.
And so here I'm like making friends with these people and I'm filming in front of 50,000 people on a stage and I'm getting shout outs from the MC Morefield. Yeah. I'm like, wow, dude. I'm like, this is great. So, and I mean, I think the largest crowd I ever played my music, like the guitar, was like maybe 2,000, 4,000. Um, and then boom, I'm like a film producer filming for these people.
Hmm.
And one of the things you said
Yeah.
is consistency is everything. I always say that consistency and loyalty. If you're consistent, you have good consistency gives you a good reputation.
Yeah.
Loyalty,
Funny you say
like
that.
the Bible says, never let loyalty and kindness leave you. Tie it around your neck like precious jewels. You don't want to leave that shit behind you, man. You gotta be loyal and kind to people, which is
Yeah.
something I lack. And I moved here for personal growth on top of coming here to help people. I wanted to help people pursue their dreams.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
sometimes, let's be real, I'm a fucking dick to people. You know,
Hmm.
I have a problem with authority. Uh, you have to earn my respect. If I don't,
Hmm.
if it doesn't make sense to me, your command, I'm not going to listen to you. Like, you know,
Yeah. Gotcha.
but that's the thing I wanted to work on here is like personal growth. I don't want to be a dick
Yeah.
to people. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah. No. No. Absolutely. Completely. Yeah.
you know, like, but I became like that. It was like a defense mechanism because I've been fucked over so many times by people in my childhood. We'll get back to that, but out of nowhere, I'm filming these celebrity DJs and building relationships and becoming like this film producer. And then I'm starting to like close accounts with like these big companies like Park Social. I was like, social is a really badass place to hang out. It's in the
Hmm.
name, social. You go there, there's hot chicks working there, and they've got live music. They got DJs, hot DJs too, and the managers and the owners were saying, "Hey, you always come around. We see you with camera gear. Would you mind filming us?" I said, "Not a problem." So I
Hmm.
came in and I make these incredible videos for them. I mean, I think they're incredible and they love them. And then so I started getting a demand and a reputation because I'm consistent
Yeah.
and I work my ass off and I'm very
Yeah.
obsessive with my work. I don't
Yeah.
stop
Yeah.
until it's done. Worked on a video that pre-party for Sonulu. It's on youtube.com/the Morefield. Um, I spent 105 hours editing that and I did it all in like 7 days. I literally slept like 3 hours a night. And after
Jeez.
that, I was like
Yeah.
losing my mind. I'm just like this for 3 days.
I know how that feels.
And no, but it was just, I got to get the job done.
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
I don't stop and I'm relentless. And to a fault, every
Mm.
strength has a weakness.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm
Yep.
really mentally tough and
Mm.
strong. And
Yep.
that's what makes me kind of a dick sometimes. I don't want to
Mm.
be a dick. You understand what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I know exactly what you mean. Yeah. No,
So
totally. Yeah. Can't even relate with that, you know what I mean?
I hope my transparency doesn't, yeah, don't lose respect for me. I'm being very honest.
No, no, no. This is the
So,
no. But obviously, no, no. The honesty is totally what it's all about, man. You're just saying how it is. You know what I mean? That's exactly what I'm looking
yeah.
for. We're going to be looking at basically the bits and pieces you're doing now in the Philippines. But obviously, like, where did it all start for you then? I know you said you're into music and all that, but did it start with the music, or
Well,
was it like, did you
honestly,
just basically
no,
one day
everybody's
decide?
got traumas in their life. But I'm sorry, what did you say?
I'm just saying, yeah. Where did it all start? So you carry on now. No, what you're saying there sounds perfect to me. Yeah. Everybody's got traumas in their life. Yeah. So let's go back to that.
Yeah. So I'm not trying to say that my life was harder than others. You can't compare your life with other people. Um, I believe that, because the worst of your experiences is your worst, and you can't. People handle stress differently. But when I was 4 years old, I flew 70 feet out of a car window. What is that, like 22 meters?
Jeez.
Landed on my head. The doctor said I was the blackest white boy that they'd ever seen, and my head was the size and shape of a basketball. I
Whoa,
was
man.
swollen. My eye was sunken way down here. I was a vegetable. Then I was mentally retarded, drooling on myself and wearing a diaper.
Jeez,
And I
man.
was never supposed to walk and chew gum at the same time. I was literally fucked up.
Hmm.
And there was no hope for me. The doctors told my parents that I'm gonna die anytime, just expect it. And boom,
Whoa.
like here I am. And then
Yeah.
like when
Here
I
you
was
are.
8, I got from some fucking neighbor kid wanted to know what it was like to shoot somebody. So he took one of his daddy's rifles. It was a small gun, but still, dude, it's scary. It hurts, and it could kill
Hmm.
you.
Yep.
So, so I go running in the house screaming and crying. My parents thought I was joking, and then they've seen like a blood, and a gun wound, and they're like, "Oh my goodness!" And ended up years later, the guy who shot me ended up hanging himself in his closet because he's obviously fucking crazy. You don't go shooting people.
Yeah. No.
Like
No.
for
No.
me
Usually.
personally, I wouldn't mind. I would shoot a pedophile or a rapist any day, and I'd sleep better at
Hmm.
night. But you don't
Yeah.
just shoot a kid for fuck's sake. You know what I mean?
No. 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 Yeah, that's pretty nuts, man. So
So
like,
and
yeah.
then when I
Okay.
was 12,
Yep. Go for it.
I got ran over by a truck. This guy got tired of seeing kids play in the street. I was playing football with my neighborhood kids, friends, and I get up on the curb and I was the quarterback. So American football, mind you,
Yeah.
because I'm
Yeah.
I'm a American born. True
Yeah.
football. Just kidding. I said that to piss you
Yeah.
guys off. Um,
And I do. I like American football. I like gridiron, man. Gridiron.
I'm just joking, guys. Seriously, show the love. So when I got ran over, and then the guy said he got tired of seeing kids playing the street. He wanted to teach us a lesson. He drives up on the curb, runs me over, and my friends that were on the other side of the street said they saw him laughing in the rearview mirror. What kind of sick person does this to
I
somebody?
know, man. That's
So now
crazy.
at this time of my life, I'm starting to take things personal. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
why the
Yeah.
fuck did things happen to me like this? And then now keep in mind, I'm about to lay something really heavy on you. And you have to understand that the whole purpose in my life, I feel called to share my life story. I really
Yeah,
do.
man.
It's my purpose
Yeah.
because
Yeah. Yeah.
I've
Yeah.
learned a
Definitely.
lot
That
of
sounds
shit and
brilliant.
I've gone through a lot of healing and I really know a lot of things that people don't learn in their life. One,
Hmm.
people don't talk about it.
Hmm.
Most people, sadly, have been molested when they were children. I was molested by some sick fucker, man. Like, it was crazy. And then being a pastor's kid, my parents are ministers. That's why I have a
Hmm.
lot of tattoos that say fuck a lot.
Yeah.
That was a joke, but it's kind of true,
It's okay.
I think. But then, like being in a pastor's family, there was a lot of negative attention with that, and it made me really angry. I felt
Right.
violated in way more ways than that. And actually, the shit that I had experienced outside of being molested at 13 was self, you know, because it
Okay,
was
can you
like
just wait
public
a
humiliation.
Raven,
People,
Morefield. Could you just like go back a little bit because it just cut out just a little bit, yeah? So just basically just go back about 30 seconds. You're saying basically
being
like when you were 13, from when you were 13,
the
the
public
kind of
humiliation
molestation.
of people knowing your business was a lot worse than being molested itself, because everybody knew your business from some twisted, perverted truth that other people were talking shit because
Mm,
they had loyalty for the person. Because the thing about pedophiles is they're nice guys. Of course they are. They're nice people. And pedophiles get into families, and if they like 13-year-old boys, they'll target a 9-year-old boy, gain the trust of the family, get in there for a few years, you know. And that's what he did with us.
mm,
My parents were like, "He's cool, right?" Like, yeah, yeah, of course he is. And then after like 3 or 4 years, the fucker starts touching me. It's like, dude, you can't fucking do that. But people will 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 prey on a family and set it up years in advance just to
mm,
have that moment of fantasy when if you have a fantasy for a 13-year-old boy. I don't understand how people are like that, and I know that people like that cannot be really rehabilitated. So I don't see a problem. This is a personal opinion of mine, and I don't think it's based off emotion. I think those people should just be shot in the head. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean,
Take everybody out of their misery.
I can completely
I think
understand
it's
because like
better.
how you've been affected though, man. If you've been affected by it, obviously that's deep, man.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like obviously people from the outside looking in, if they've never been affected by it, they can't possibly know how you feel when you like having to grow up with that feeling. You know what I mean? That
for
feeling
sure.
of violation.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean? And that kind of deep hatred that can cause for people. It's yeah. So I can completely understand your point of view there, man. Seriously,
I think
I
it's
mean, to be
better to
honest
be
with you,
raped.
what I've seen, like you see,
I'm,
hear of people is quite bad. But yeah, I mean, go on. Sorry, go for it.
I think it's better to be murdered than raped or molested, because you have to live with that for your whole life. You know, if you
Mm.
die, you just get to go be with Jesus forever. You know what I mean? Like, that's not a bad way to live. But living with that kind of shit, you have to deal with it.
Okay, so adding, boom. That means that when I yes, here we go. Woohoo!
Did it.
It's
Fuck's
like it never
sake,
like
man.
all. I
It's
know,
probably
man.
the
But this
Filipino
is
internet, bro.
yeah. Well, it could be. Yeah, it could be down to the Wi-Fi. But like I said, but I've had problems earlier, mate, and it was in Edinburgh. You know what I'm saying? So could be me as well. I don't know if it's something to do with the phone or whatever. It could be. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Right. Okay. So thanks so much, man. You really like sharing some personal stuff there, man. And that ain't easy to do, especially not on a live show, right? But at the end of the day, you just
Oh,
go
it's
with
easy
how
for
you
me. I'm
feel.
used to it.
No, cool,
But
man. Okay,
thank
good.
you.
Well, that's no, but that's what I mean. Thank you anyway for like for what you're doing and what you're sharing because that's what this is about. There's a lot of people out there that are suffering in silence, right? And that's how I started this show,
Yeah.
suffering in silence, right?
Gotta
Because I
talk about it,
noticed
man.
how many, yeah. So I noticed how many people are actually like killing themselves in the country. Like in this country, 6,500 people kill themselves a year, and that in a country where you think, well, there's enough support out there to help everyone, and then you think, well, is that support really effective for the people that need it the most? Do you know what I mean? So, and then I started this show, and then from this show, I met up with Mark Hutton, and I met up with Paul Herbert, and I met up with a few other guys, and we started to work towards, helping guys with PTSD, and me in turn helping people with PTSD and like suffering in silence as a generalization as well, like people that are suffering in silence all over the place. You know what I mean? So anyway, then I
Yeah.
meet yourself, Morefield, man, and you have obviously suffered in silence at some point in your life to have gone through what you've gone through, you must have suffered at least a lot. You know what I mean? So anyway, let's go back to like kind of that time. Like, so obviously you were like a young guy and you were violated, and now you have this kind of like, is it a kind of hatred for people like that? Then is it something, or is it just something now you just you're not like, well, it happened,
Well,
and I'll just move on,
I
or
I
what? How do
hate
you get on with
I
it?
hate guys who prey on innocent people. I don't like
Yeah,
that.
that makes
That's bad. I'm telling you,
hmm
man, it's better to be murdered than raped. I'll just say that. But
Hmm.
you have an opportunity with your traumas in life. What's the point in life experiences if you cannot use them to help others? You know, and you gotta learn how to heal through your shit because your
Hmm.
baggage in your life hinders your ability to have healthy relationships. And we were created by a loving creator to have relationships. So healing is a big part of life. Life is hard on people, man, but
Yeah,
it's what you
absolutely.
do. You have to have humility. Humility is having a clear perspective of yourself. That's it.
Yep.
And when you have humility and say, okay, I'm hurting, I need help. And it's not until you accept the fact that you need help when you go through those traumas in life, how do I get through this without fucking up my heart for the world?
Mm.
I mean, I've been angry at the world, at Christians, at church for years. Like, and it's all about how you respond to it. And
Mm.
wisdom is the ability to use knowledge. Because knowledge by itself is useless. But wisdom, it's like the best thing on the planet.
Yeah, so I was saying there's someone, I think it's Stephen H. said like just recently said like, you can read all the books in the world. If you don't practice what you read, you're just reading. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? If you don't
yeah.
practice it, then it's just reading. Like you said, the knowledge is no good without the action, I suppose, without the action that's with it. So
So at
yeah,
this
man.
point in my life, can I continue?
Yeah, yeah, no, you go for it, man. You go for it. Go for it.
Were you
Let's
going
do
to say
this.
something? The internet's a little shoddy, so I don't know if I'm interrupting you.
No, 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 you talk, man. You talk. Go for it, yeah.
Okay. So at this point, I learned the reason for pain is to let you know something's wrong. I learned that the reason for addiction is to deny the acknowledgement of pain. Let me say that again. The reason for addiction, the purpose, is to deny your acknowledgement of your pain. Man, it feels good to do drugs and get fucked up. I'm not gonna lie. All your pain just gone. It's
Mm.
like, oh, I feel good. You know, but then at the end of your high, your problems are still there and they get worse. So you
Amplified.
you can't escape it. And then everything you do that's negative, all your choices hinder your ability to have healthy relationships. Relationships are everything in life. You have to have relationships with people. That's how we were made.
Mm.
Your mind is even if you're introverted, you still need people in your life. You need friendships. You need family. You need connection with people. Uh, and anytime you go through trauma, it fucks it up. And so healing is so crucial. Um, and I had to go through a little bit more healing than some people. I understand that. But everybody's
Mm.
got to accept their pain and know how to work through it. Uh, So at this point, I'm like, what the fuck? Why are people hurting me? Why am I getting shot? Why did I get run over? Why did I have to be fucking brain dead for? Why do all these things keep happening to me? I was fucking mad. So I got into drug use. And it was such an
Mm.
accident. Everything in my life was like an accident. Um, I wanted to play the guitar at 13. I thought it would be a good escape. And, man, I don't know if I don't want to sound crazy. This is a crazy story. How much time we got?
Okay. We got as much time as you want. Trust me. Let's go for it. Come on. You know, you've been really patient. We've just like say we had a bit of a technical issue. While this is still running, we run. Simple as that. When it cuts off, it cuts off. Let's go.
Well, my mom is a minister. She was strict growing up. Like I couldn't watch PG-13 movies until I was 13. That's like in the middle between rated R. I know the ratings are different in different countries and shit, and especially here in the Philippines, it's
Yeah,
just
yeah,
different.
yeah. We have like PG
But
and a
my mom was
15
strict.
and all that. 18.
I couldn't talk to girls on the phone until I was 16. I couldn't listen to music that wasn't church music, which all that changed at 13. I was like, fucking get the, you know. And the therapist said to my mom, "You're fucking gonna kill your son. Like you gotta ease up on the rules because everything you taught him, he sees as it hurt him."
Mm.
So my mom let me listen to an album from the Goo Goo Dolls, "Dizzy Up the Girl," and I remember I was on a road trip. It was like the first time I listened to this album, and I put on my headphones, and the first song was like, "Dun dun dun dun, you're cynical and beautiful, you always make a scene." And I just leaned up against the window, and I was like, I felt like I was on acid, like And I was too young. I didn't have anything to compare it with, but I started seeing colors and shapes and sounds in my vision to the music. And the next song, da 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 da, oh May, put your arms around me. And I was just like, wow, this music was just so amazing. It was like the first experience I ever had with like secular music. Yeah, like,
Wow.
not church music. I still don't like church music. It puts a bad taste in my mouth. It's like when I hear worship songs that I grew up with in church, I'm like, ooh, I remember people in church. It's like PTSD. It's like a trigger in my mind. I'm like, you know. Uh, so so I asked for a guitar for Christmas when I was like 13, and my mom said, "We buy you a guitar. You can only play church music." And my dad's a minister. He's like, Meg, no, you can write what you want. And I was like, ah. So I wrote a song called Sweet Surreal. It's actually on Spotify and iTunes. And
Right. What's it called?
just to
Say
fast
again?
forward a little bit, I produced an album in '08, and it was like all the music I wrote for years and years. I haven't made that much money in music because that's the nature of music. Music business is a
Mm,
fucking nightmare. But I
can
have to
imagine.
say that my music is played on 4 different continents and makes me really happy. Like I'll go on my digital sales report, and it's like Australia sales, UK sales. I'm like, wow, dude, like people somehow are listening to my music in these countries. That's
Yeah, that's
amazing.
amazing. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah,
Uh,
that's pretty cool. Yeah.
but it doesn't pay the
That's
bills,
that's the global
Music,
connection though. The global connection now is just so like, we're so connected, but still
yeah,
so lonely. Do you know what I mean? Like it's a crazy thing. But yeah,
that's
go
what
on.
it
Sorry,
does,
carry
man.
on.
It separates us from reality, what's in front of
Yeah,
us,
yeah,
because
it
people
does.
are
Yeah.
so glued to their phones.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And talking
But
about
it's a
that, talking
song
about
called Sweet
connected, if
Surreal.
anyone's watching this, could you please share it to your timelines because we've broken it down twice, and every time we share it, it's just broken down. So if you guys could share it out there in the world for us, and just at least get it out to a few more people because I don't want to touch anything because the last time I did, it all went to shit. Okay, so let's go. Let's carry on there. Morefield, thanks again, man. Let's go. So you're saying
Don't
like
worry.
you started with the music, it was now in iTunes, but let's go back to when you started writing it, the music.
Yeah, this is the first song I ever wrote. I wrote it in like 3 days. It's called Sweet Surreal. I was 13 years old, and everything you hear in the song came from out of my head. And I had an orchestra playing in the song and a full band. So I wrote music. Like that was like my obsession. I just got consumed with music at 13. It was like my perfect escape from the world. I just zoned out and like
Mm.
once I was exposed to that like that Goo Goo Doll album, Dizzy Up the Girl, it like changed me. Like I saw that guy, fucking sexy motherfucker in leather pants and like this see-through shirt playing this fat black guitar with his fucking hair and I don't want the world to see me. I'm like, oh dude, I want to be like that. I mean, I'm not gay, but damn, that guy's sexy, motherfucker. Um, but it's like a bromance, you know what I mean? A non-sexual
Yeah, yeah,
crush,
yeah,
if
yeah,
you
yeah.
will. And I emulated, like, I really looked up to him as like a music idol of mine. Like, and I tried
Mm.
to write like him and look like him because what else are you going to do at 13 years old? You don't find yourself, you don't find your true originality until you're a little bit older. And so I wrote a lot of music, and like open tunings, and I just wrote with no education in music. And uh, I want to fast forward a bit talking about music, and then we'll
Yeah,
come
go for it.
back to the drugs
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah, let's do
the
it. Yeah,
women.
yeah, yeah. Oh, definitely. Yeah,
But
let's do it. Yeah, yeah. Go where your mind's going, man. That's cool. Sounds good.
actually, we'll go into the drugs and women now, because it's a long story. Is this cool? Am I talking too much, man? I can talk more than a
No, no,
Japanese
no, no, no,
radio
no.
sometimes.
That's what this is about. It's Mindset Talk Live, right? Basically, the concept I got right is I'm learning something from a lot of different people around the world, right? And this is about me offering a platform for someone to talk, right? It's not
Okay.
about me badgering them about certain things. I've got questions there, you know what I mean? If it goes a bit quiet, right? I've got stuff set up. I've looked at some of your stuff. I've watched your YouTube videos, you know what I mean? So I know a bit about you. But at the end of the day, if you've got flow, if you feel in your heart, you want to say something, you just say it. And that's what I meant because it's
Okay.
coming from the heart. If I'm thinking out questions, that's not coming from your heart. All I'm doing is I'm answering your question. you know what I'm saying? So I
Hmm.
want you to feel free to talk, and that's really important, especially if the guy's watching and the girl's watching, obviously.
Cool.
Go
Uh,
for it.
yeah, you can't escape your past. You know, like I'm ashamed of the things I've done in my life. Literally, like there's nothing to brag about. It's not cool. You know, and
Mm.
some girl who's valuable enough to be with, and you might fall in love with her family. I gotta tell her this shit. Like she can't get in a relationship without knowing this stuff about me, my past. But luckily, in the Philippines, people have a past is the past mindset, which is okay. But what
Mm.
people don't accept is that when you have a past, you've got shit you had to deal with. So the question is, did you deal with your shit or did you not?
Mm.
Luckily, I'm doing pretty good. You know, I've got a solid base. I got a good foundation with God. Um, I have truth. I have healing. But you know, after all this shit, you know, you get a little edgy to the world.
Mm.
You know, you get a little. You know, it can make you kind of snappy sometimes, kind of a defense
Yeah,
mechanism.
sure.
Um, but I'm still a nice guy. Like I'm nice to everybody. Just don't hurt my
Right.
friends or family. I'll rip your fucking
Yeah.
arms off. You know what I mean? I mean it. If you like, it just happened the other day. If you put your hands on somebody who I care for, you better be prepared to meet Jesus or kill me. You know, and I'm ready to meet Jesus. But so music. I got into music at 16 years old. This is like I said, everything I got involved in was like an accident. Um, at 16 years old, I'm angry, I'm hurt, I'm confused, I'm bitter. It was a perfect, you know, formula for drug addiction. And there was this neighbor lady. She was 34, I was 16, and I was a good-looking guy back then. You know, I was skinny, I had rock star hair. You know, and I had a nice car then at this time. Uh, and this neighbor lady, Jamie, said, "Oh, what are you doing?" "Oh, I'm a musician." We start talking. She was out there washing the car. And she says, "Oh, you're a musician?" I said, "Yeah." She goes, "Well, my boyfriend runs the entertainment in this town, Las Vegas, Nevada. You should play in his clubs or his bars." I'm like, "I'm 16." She goes, "It doesn't matter. If you know Ricky, you can play anywhere." I'm like, "Seriously?" So then, like, maybe a week later, I'm this 16-year-old guy with a cigarette in my mouth and a bad attitude and you know, confidence, because I was always overconfident, like borderline cocky, which is something I've worked on
Mm.
because I don't want to be a, you know, a cocky asshole. Like I
Mm.
said, I'm being completely honest with you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, man, that's
Um,
cool. Yeah, yeah, go for it.
so I come walking in, these guys, "Hey, where's Ricky?" And I'm like, "Oh, he's in the back." And I just go walking in these bars and clubs at 16, and you know, the age limit of drinking in America is 21. And then I'm like on the stage playing in these places at 16. It was amazing. It was fun. It was great. And I think I started playing live high on uppers at such a young age. I just never got nervous being on a stage or in
Mm.
front of crowds. It's fun. But I'm also
Mm.
introverted, so I recharge my batteries alone. But this girl, she ends up working for a photography company. I'm not going to say which one. It was a front for prostitution and drugs in Vegas. I didn't know anything. I had no idea. We were in her car one time and she pulls into a do it yourself car wash, you know, one of those things. And she pulls out some speed and she goes, "Want to do some shit?" And she like flares her nostrils. I'll never forget that to this day. And she had a little
Yeah.
straw and a little baggie and she was like that. And I'm standing there for like 10 minutes sitting in the car, not standing, sitting in the car. And I was like, "Just do it?" "Yeah." She's like, "Yeah, just do it." I'm like that. I'm like, "Wow." And it was just kind of like, ding. And
Yeah, I can imagine, man.
I was like, "Hello." And then
Yeah.
she gets a job working for this photo company. And they did like photography in like showrooms and nice restaurants. Like, you know, "Hey guys, do you want any picture taken?" You know, some sexy girl with a camera. And then they show you a print and you have to buy it. It's like overpriced. And, you know, these girls evidently sold their bodies after work. And this whole crew was just like tweaked out of their mind.
Mm.
And they started giving me like drugs for free. And then this one girl asks me, will you drive me to work? I said, sure. My next job, whatever. I didn't know what it was. Just take her to another casino. So I drove her to the Mandalay Bay. And I'm not going to get into that story because it's a little intense. But I started driving hookers around, like, you know, getting hooked up. Like, what 16-year-old boy who's hurting and lost wouldn't love that? That's like the most amazing, you know. And that time of my life kind of got a little violent. And I was in martial arts for 11 years, on and off. I mean, I've been in judo, jiu-jitsu, taekwondo, and traditional karate up until I was like 13, and then I got into American Kenpo, which is badass. And I trained under Mr. Hurd. This guy is one of the most amazing martial art teachers on the planet. American Kenpo is just a fucking beautiful martial art. And so at 16, I was angry and really skilled in fighting. And I wasn't somebody who lost often. The only people who could really kick my ass were my instructors. And I got in trouble a lot of times because I was too hard on the kids that I was fighting, which were, you know, I was doing a lot of shin cracking and knees and elbows and stuff like that. And my instructor said, hey, there's been some complaints. You're a little too hard on people. So I got all this skill and I utilize it in this world, if you know what I mean. So I wanted out of that. You know, like, it was too much. I mean, I'm a pastor's kid. I was innocent. But then I just kind of made a lot of bad choices. So I changed my life. But I still was just like sleeping around with girls. It's like everywhere in Vegas. There's something about that magical air in Vegas that just makes women lose all values. And you would walk down the strip. Hey, God, you're beautiful. Can I kiss you? Okay. And you just start making out. You want to get married? Okay. I never got married, but I talked about it a few times with girls. And, you know, just insane. Living in Vegas, when you utilize the devil's playground, the sky's the limit on what you can do. There are sex clubs in Vegas. You fuck women in front of their husbands who are jerking off. So that was like Vegas that I exposed myself to. And then when I was 23, I moved to Buffalo, New York at 21, chasing women. And then I moved to San Diego. Then I went to Vegas for the UFC fight one year. I think I just turned 22. I met a girl. She was like, I'm moving to the mountains, way up in the, 20 minutes from Yosemite. And I was like, can I go with you? Same thing happened with Buffalo. Can I go with you? Sure. It's like I had nothing to do. So, which I worked at a casino at 21. And that's when I was first, I wasn't a bodyguard. I was a dignitary escort for Pamela Anderson, Cindy Crawford, Scott Baio, and Hall & Oates, which I just say bodyguard because it's easy. But I became a bodyguard years later. But people don't know what dignitary escorts was. And I was bodyguarding these celebrities. That's what I did. But I worked for a casino, not them. And until years later, I became a licensed bodyguard in California. So, So I moved to Coulterville, just this small town. Everything closed at 4 p.m. I was fucking becoming suicidal up there. So I told this girl, I was like, look, I'm going crazy. Like, I gotta move. So we moved into this fucking beautiful town called Walnut Creek. And I'm looking around and I feel bad. This is one time I feel bad how I mistreated this girl. She was in love with me. And I was talking marriage, never engaged, but she was emotionally set. Like, this is my forever. Which is ironic because I just had something similar happen to me when I got hurt. But I just looked at all these beautiful women in Walnut Creek. It's a rich town, beautiful women. And I said, man, I don't want to be with a girl anymore. And I looked at this girl, and she looks at me. She was actually in a bathroom with the loofah all soaked up. She's like, how do you boil an egg? I'm like, how do you boil an egg? And I broke up with her, and it broke her heart. And it's horrible. I still want to write her and be like, I'm so sorry. I learned a lot. I fucked up. But after that, it changed my life. But I had some other crazy stories. I had a girl try to kill me in Walnut Creek, and then another girl dancing outside my apartment door, butt naked, dripping wet, high as a kite, swinging on my doorknob, singing, you are my sunshine, my only sunshine. And this girl is beautiful. And I
Yeah.
mean, and then I was wanted for kidnapping for this other girl, which she was with me. I did not kidnap her. And I had no idea. She's obviously crazy. And the police saw me. I'm like, guys, my name's Morefield. They're like looking at me. I'm like, and this is Kelly. And like, oh, will you call her your family? They're worried about you. I'm like, oh my gosh, that was so risky. That's a whole other story. I don't have time for that. But
Yeah.
obviously, I didn't do anything wrong because I don't have a criminal record with that. So,
Yeah.
um, yeah, but I just looked at my life. There was no substance. There was no happiness. I wasn't joyful. My two sisters had husbands and kids, and they were happy and consistent and loving
Mm.
and kind and selfless. And I was selfish. So my parents were happy. They're all ministers. And I just like, man, I gotta change my life. And so I literally changed my phone number, deleted all my phone numbers in my phone book. I went to a church. I actually called my dad. I'm like, Dad, don't tell anybody this, but you know a good church around here? He's like, yeah, there's a place called Oak Creek, I think it was called. He goes, I've known the guy Bill for like 30 years because they went to seminary together or some shit. And so I walked into this church and I was kind of a dick because I hated Christians, but I was searching because I was hurting and I wanted to change my life. And everybody was so kind
Yeah.
to me and I was so rude and short tempered. And then the pastor comes up to me. I'd never seen this guy like in like years, maybe 20 years. I was 23 at the time, I think. I almost said 30, but I'm older. Got to get my time right. Yeah, I was 23, I think, about that time, and supposedly this guy prayed for me in his church every Sunday for a year when I had the car accident. And he walked up to me. He was like, "Mr. Morefield, how are you?" I'm like, "How'd you know it was me?" He was like, "Just a guess." And he genuinely he had no idea who I was. It was just like probably God speaking to him. So he took me under his
Mm.
wing and mentored me. And this other guy named Anthony mentored me. And I got mentored for like 6 months, a little less than 6 months. I hibernated in my place. I read the entire Bible in 3 months and really studied the hell out of it.
Mm-hmm.
And then this is the only time I ever heard God's voice audibly. I felt God's voice here. I heard God's voice say, "You can no longer grow here. I want you to move to San Diego, and I'm going to make your name well known. And I want you to just tell your story, tell your life story, no matter what. Just tell it relentlessly." So I moved to San Diego.
Just something you felt in your heart, like just you just felt that
I
was your
heard a
calling
voice.
to do that.
I was
Yeah.
listening to
Bloody
church
hell.
music, actually, and I heard God's voice. It was the only time I ever heard God's voice, like heard it, like in my car, and I was like, "Hey, you God?" I'm like, "Wow!" Like it was intense, and you knew it was Him because it was like just this holy. The word holy means set apart for a divine purpose. And I was like, wow. And I was like crying in my car because of like the moving feeling I had in me. And I moved to San Diego. I was celibate for 5 years. Like I had no sex. Um, and I went to a church. It was this surfer church, like just small, like beach church. People were like, "What's up, bro? Yo, man, we're gonna go surfing, yeah." And I didn't click there well. I didn't connect with people. I went there for a few months. I didn't fit in. And this kid named Jimbo was like, "Hey, man, you ever been to the Rock?" I'm like, "No." He's like, "You gotta go." And the head pastor was a black guy who cracked black jokes on stage, and he played for the San Diego Chargers. He's really funny, really charismatic. And I went to the church and just got kind of like addicted to it. I was like, "Wow, this place just is me. I fit in." And I finally, like, after going there for 6 months, I finally got like the strength or the courage to get involved. And I went up to, I'm trying to figure out how to say this without giving away too much because there's something personal about my life I don't like sharing with people, but for fuck's sake, I'll say it. Whatever, whoever's listening, I don't know. Um, I went up over to this pastor and I said, "Hey, Ricky, my name is Morefield. I'm 23, I'm retired, and God wants me to work for free." And he goes, "Wow, that's great. This is Mingo. You start Monday." It was that easy. Um,
Yeah.
And then Monday we're going out. We're building these events like these coffee shops and even nightclubs, and we got like ton of people, like 30,000 people went to this church. And there was like 13,000 young people in their 20s. And this group was called 1825. And
Yeah.
we had these venues and live music, and I was the MC, and I was hosting, and I was setting up these events like almost every night of the week. It was insane. And I got to headline and play music with people. And like doing that really just bumped me up in music. Like, which back in Vegas, I didn't cover this. I used to sneak into parties with a friend named Janice in high school. We used to sneak into parties. I would literally just walk by the guards with cocky walk and an attitude. And I was like, "Oh, what's up? How you doing?" And sometimes they'd be like, "Hey, where's your pass?" "Oh, it's inside on the table." I'm like, "Okay." And then I'm in these parties, like pre-parties before like the Billboard Awards and shit. And then you see Lenny Kravitz and Macy Gray, Sugar Ray, Goo Goo Dolls, Matchbox 20, all these bands that like I grew up with. They're like right there. I'm like, holy shit. And I'm trying to play it cool. I'm like, "Hey, how you guys doing?" And I start talking to them. And if you're in that party, you belong there. I didn't belong there. I snuck. But I kept going to these parties, and I started getting recognized. Like these celebrities, these not movie stars. I was never around movie stars. I was always around rock stars. And
which is pretty cool yourself, you know what I mean? Like
Mark McGrath from Sugar Ray. "Hey, so dude, I saw you last time. You're like Morefield, right?" I'm like, "Yeah, man. How you doing, brother?" And I started like getting people are like recognizing me or remembering me vaguely. You know what I mean? Like they see so many people, but I started building connections with them. So going back to playing music, I would go to Hollywood a lot when I was doing this, and I started building connections. I was a networker. I could network like a motherfucker. So, and then me and Mingo went into like nightclubs, and he went in and he goes to the club owner. He goes, "Hello, sir. We're a part of a church, and we want to come in here. We want to know what it would cost to have a party here. We've got to cost you 10 to 20,000 US dollars." And so I was like, "Man, you kind of bombed that." So the next time we go into this other club that was just as prestigious as the other one, and he introduced himself, and I cut right in front of my boss, interrupted him, shook the owner's hand, and said, "Hi, how are you? We're a part of a group called Rock Underground, and we have a 13,000 person fan base in this town. We want to have a party in your nightclub, and we're not even going to charge you for it." And the guy goes, "Wow, that's amazing. Yeah, let's book it." Boom. I was like,
fantastic.
And the guy, my boss, was just sitting there going, "How'd you do that?" And we're walking out. I'm like, "I have no fucking idea how I did that. It was just blowing my mind." And so then I became the offsite public relations coordinator. And that was my job, was going out and selling the sizzle and making shit happen. And you always want to make the sizzle smell so good and sound so good that people will just order the steak. So I actually got an award that said that. The man who sells the sizzle, I think. Or the man who, I don't know. Anyway, but I was having parties like all the time. I was an MC, I was a host, I was headlining music and building connections with people. And I would drive up by myself at 3 p.m. to these venues in a white church truck. And I had these 2x4 legs and these big sheets of wood painted white. I had a PA system. You there?
Yeah. That's right. It's just cut off a little bit. That's fine.
And
I'm just trying not to move, man. I'm just scared to move now in case it goes wrong. It's just like,
I took these legs down, and I take the big sheets of wood down, and I drilled them in. I stand them up, and I got art walls. And I would have artists come, and I didn't. The church did, but I was like managing these things with this guy, Mingo, who's an incredible artist, one of the best photographers, love the guy. And he's like one of my mentors in the creative spaces, like production.
Yeah.
And then these artists come, they hang their paintings and their art and their photography, and they display their art. And then bands come in, and I'm like, "What's up, everybody? Thanks for coming." And I'm playing music, and it was just amazing. And then this girl, Maylene Starkey, I think her name was, we used to go to Hollywood, go to parties, and I was going to award shows. And I even walked down the red carpet a couple times. And like one person, "Oh, sir, you come this?" I'm like, "Wow." And it was just really
no way, man.
And But I learned one thing in this, because I got really burned by church people again.
Hmm.
I let too many people into my life. I wasn't managing my relationships, they were managing me. I didn't have
Yeah, yeah,
proper
yeah,
boundaries.
yeah.
I got stabbed in the back. People started accusing me of drugs and sleeping. And I'm like, dude,
Mm.
you don't know me. Like this weird guy, weird looking guy from church insisted to meet me at 2 in the morning and said, I've heard you've been doing drugs. I was like, what are you talking about, man? I don't even know you. I had to lay down a couple dollars on the table for the coffee I ordered. I didn't even drink it. And I said, I don't have time for this. And I left. But people get weird, you know. People when they don't understand you. I mean,
Self, man. Exactly the
what's
same.
that?
Like I've been on
Oh,
the back
really?
end of the church thing myself, yeah. When I met this girl and I didn't realize she was a Christian, and then like she basically like then she introduced me to a church, and then the next thing I'm in the church, and then the next thing I thought, man, this God thing, maybe there is a God, and you know what I mean? All this kind of. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, that's much better. It's gone.
Yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, let's just throw them away. Happy days. Right, I'm just going to take my clothes off in a minute. Right, okay. So, yeah, basically the same thing, man. I was involved in a church myself. And like I say, just because I didn't know anything about church, I went to church, but then I found out this church wasn't too, and it literally was. It was just all about like, not you couldn't show your feelings or anything. Like, all had to be like everything was about just loving Jesus, not yourself. It was just weird, man. It's really weird. For me, it was a new experience, but then it was a really
Yeah.
dark experience in the end. You know what I mean? So, like, yeah, sorry, carry on. But I just wanted to say that I completely relate with church side of things.
What I